Cast, where we shall be in place to give you what is happening in and around the world. And from West Nile, I know rain is raining heavily, and that definitely tells us what is happening around the region. And with that, let's first head in for the headlines making it around the news bulletin. Thank you. In the headlines tonight, Arua City Chamber of Commerce chairperson election postponed over chaos. Heavy downpour leaves hundreds displaced and properties destroyed. And poor sewage management asked by the town dwellers. For this and more, in the NILE CAST News Bulletin. All right, once again, you're most welcome for the NILE CAST News Bulletin, and today my name is Farish Majid. And starting off with one of the news stories making it in the headlines today, the Arua City Chamber of Commerce, whose chairperson election was supposed to take place yesterday on the 1st of November, has been postponed over chaos that was generated between the two factions, whose candidates are Mr. Draichabo Trinity Caesar and Debo Ronald. Osta Yusuf compiled the story.
The Arua City Chamber of Commerce, whose chairperson election was scheduled to take place on Wednesday, 1st November 2023, has been postponed over chaos that generated between the two factions, whose candidates are Draichabo Caesar Trinity and Debo Ronald. The controversy that ensued between the factions attracted the attention of concerned stakeholders, and the matter had to be taken to the office of the resident city commissioner for reconciliation, but it ended up being bickering and quarrels. Following two parallel venues booked by both parties to hold the elections on Wednesday, 1st November 2023, and later the venues were cancelled by the Deputy Resident City Commissioner Ezamaham Mezamil over the grievances, Ronald Debo, who pinned his opponent Draichabo Trinity Caesar for being the one who has been feeding him on the date on when the election is going to take place, castigated them for requesting postponements for elections.
What are the documents? The elections are supposed to be on Wednesday. I also heard they also wanted to organize elections on Friday. And they told me elections should be on Wednesday. I said no problem. I will still participate. Because I have seen over the years there has been total mayhem in chamber. This school and the substantive chamber. We have been embarrassed in the very forum. That's why I said, okay, let me offer myself. Be the leadership which I think can bring us together. The issue of venue. Rosevilla was booked by a candidate. This other hotel, Tropical Suites, was booked by chamber. So yesterday when you had saying that we should cancel both and come to Mayor's Garden, quietly asked myself, who is supposed to book the venue? Is it a candidate? Is it chamber? Is it what? So we still complied. We said, okay, we shall come to Mayor's Garden, whether it's rain or what. So I think postponing this election, bring these issues is in bad faith. We are taking it as a joke. We are taking it as a what? Now we are fighting. Let's go to the voters, share our ideas for the sake of the city. We move on.
Aivo is constituency member of parliament, Honorable Feta Geoffrey, who went to attend the meeting as an observer, asked that for an election to take place, the nitty-gritties have to be followed to avoid organizing sham elections, and it will be improper for a leader to just watch when things go bad.
The fear is you want to get rid of sham elections, staged elections. Two, you who is organizing elections, you must be impartial. Impartiality. You must not be taking sides. You must not be seen to be taking sides. The history of Chamber of Commerce in this Arua is for fighting. For the last election to take place, it had to be in his hotel for him to be elected as chairperson. Yeah. Was that the fair election? No. Was that credible? No. Do you think people accepted him as a chairperson of Chamber of Commerce here? Nobody accepted him except his group that elected him in his hotel.
While responding to queries on why Chambers of Commerce Secretariat came with a register with names of many people from one faction, the Central Division City Member of Parliament, Honorable Atimali Jackson, who who has also been the Arua Chamber of Commerce chairperson, says he is the one who compiled and submitted to the Secretariat those names as mandated by the law.
The law mandates the sitting leadership as a substantive leadership of Chamber of Commerce in the country to mobilize, liaise with the secretary, and submit members who are subscribed. It is the secretary that verifies the paid up members submitted by the sitting leadership of Chamber of Commerce, which I did. I and my team on ground mobilized, went round. I did not do it myself because I don't work alone.
Meanwhile, the acting Arua City Commercial Officer, Aiko Jobel, who picked a document he is using for the election from social media, decried the Chamber of Commerce head office Kampala for not working in formal ways.
I'm not properly prepared by headquarters. It's not prepared. This is not the case for Arua alone. Even I've been consulting my colleagues in the region, commercial officers. There are no single evidence where we have been, our capacity has been big as commercial officers since 2008. I've come to office. So maybe for other commercial officers in the other regions, but that's been a very big gap up to date. That's why I'm relying on this guide, this document, which I got on social media of commercial officers. Not direct communication to my office. Please, I request the headquarters to put their house right, because we should end this confusion. We are a city. City is a center for excellence. Excellence is service delivery.
Peace Oshaki, Osuta Yusuf, Wasnel TV, NILE CAST.
And more in our stories, as the region continues to witness heavy downpour, the heavy rainfall have displaced hundreds of people, animals and buildings in the Oligi refugee settlement in Adjumani districts. And according to the locals, the heavy rainfall started on the 1st of November 2023 with heavy roar of wind, which emerged with a flash of lightning and bolts of thunder that struck a tree that fell on a house having 2 girls. Onzima Alan compiled the story.
Heavy rainfall displaced over 100 people, animals, destroying property in Oluji refugee settlement in Adjumani district. According to the locals, a heavy rainfall started last evening, the 1st of November 2023, with heavy roar of wind, which emerged with flash of lightning and bolts of thunder that struck a tree and fell on a house having 2 children. Drichi Sunday Phillips, the Secretary for Refugee Welfare Committee, stated that the disaster left a catastrophic effect since the many households have lost crops, animals, and documents, and appeals to the relevant authorities to come to the aid of the vulnerable victims.
Here we experienced yesterday evening wild wind and rain, and this rain has left catastrophic effect in our household. Particularly, it has demolished so many houses, trees collapsed and fell on houses. It has caused injury and harm to many of the residents. Many houses were flooded. Many houses were the roof and wall cracked and collapsed. And some of the households have their food item destroyed because of the rain, even with the document alongside destroyed. As I talk, we have in summary captured over 100 households that is already severely affected by this heavy rain. And we're still receiving more reports as we do our assessment. Hopefully, we are certain that the number may even go past 100. So we are appealing to the relative authorities, particularly OPM in charge of refugee business and affairs, OPM, Disaster Preparedness Department, local government and national government to have a look into this. We are currently vulnerable. We have nowhere to go, nothing to eat, no shelter to harbor in. And given this circumstance, we are afraid we may hardly survive. So please, the relative authority, we are appealing to you to come to our rescue. Otherwise, the situation here is horrible.
Joanne Margaret, the Vice Chairman, Refugee Welfare Committee, Oluji Refugee Settlement, stated that the community is faced with food insecurity after the disaster.
Ongbajo, Ongo Bonjina, Jogana, Enje Kanai, Kwena o Gakpa, Adi Zangwana Enje. Zangwana Ipana Iri, Tuadu Ongora, Ongo Alure, Yana Dini, Seakaza, Ela Irijore, Tosa Zina, Sinai, Anidi Kololo, Ongo Dina Sa Anilo U, Ongo Taizarudia, Kuti, Indi, Goro, A Ubolodi, Jo, Kweongora, Tanyale Risa Kusi Dong Baburu, Taideru, Ntikanya na Kende Kwe Idi Se Diponanya Lia Kwe Yomba Deru Arina Egani. Kim geni nai vulegase izi joemura kata na njope da taridere dia okpore tekinya ndoko di da kinyana kimi geni ko du andagare ga amalu ingoni ai kare de amani okpo ongo ama orito joike yani dia do amani sirizi ami de wana ingoni ya ama bonzi kava ingoni ya amani ko rare siri rubangadi obadu zangwa na enjera ki ba enjekane ani community wali jigari manjo yokpose amalakosi mu area makukuni miangwaro ito digase amadi lolu uzuani koro yangbe data lelere are isaba zangwa na edura rare na igama anjo ingwiru bangani rijori male gamante ki konyama ovida malakari jodi da akaki dia ingoni diadu kurukuru da majo singoni aisese amesuku tazibati esuka na diadu do ayakpo rare ole kameti kondeta diarura opiemto UNCR to kusido bare ole kemudi kare aluga ama reregai kaki amikava ovina ingoni.
Kenny Anayas, the Officer Refugee Welfare Committee, stated that the disaster was a very sad issue because it has adverse effects which left many people homeless and others stranded, thus endangering their livelihood.
Ole takwete kwete inje jo nyopi dadi ni kare daman balaka dega de jo roski dende ana jo ni yote dusi eyi nyopi onjo batidi oduo je owa eyi tiranga eserega de sample na ki eyi di volontaire angu tedi yadi teku josi bati gakperi zitire osi adopi zitire kwe ziti ode odu onmajo yesu atini batiri ri jo aga za lore dadi ni so je ni ero jo gapi so gamete kole ak intervene mi implementing partners to adosiku eidi jo di andaga odu eri nara almost job block B adi are kole yote the block B adi teku the block C the block A amade only the refugees agada block ni inna. So total havos the Darodian.
On Zima Alan and Kumaringa Christine for West Nile Television, NILE CAST.
Welcome back to that story and still giving you more in some of the stories making it in the news. The residents of Paida Town Council have expressed their dissatisfaction over what they termed as improper disposal of sewage wastes by hotel and lodge owners. The residents say the poor disposal of waste emerging from hotels, restaurants and many other eating places have become threats to their lives. And Alfred Jawab filed the story.
Some of the residents say the poor disposal of waste emerging from hotels, restaurants and many other places where people cook and eat have become threats to their lives. Jerry Adebo, one of the residents, says Paida Town Council lacks waste bins and soft bins which could have helped to dump the waste. He appeals to Town Council authorities to conduct regular supervision on hotel and lodge owners who decompose the environment.
The main issue is here how wastes are being disposed in the town, which is so alarming, and it's something which is not good because it causes so many things. Pollution of the air is there. Water pollution also causes because there are some waters which are being used here, like Ebola, whereby these waste they go up to there. It's not something which is good because it has a lot of negative effects. So we appeal to the town council to put in more effort. First of all, we appreciate what they are doing, trying to do their best, but we feel like they should put in more efforts, especially during this rainy season, whereby you find there are so many waste. And all these things, not on the town council, it comes back to us people who are within the town. As an individual, water is your role, because you find someone has taken water, throws the bottle on the road, someone has eaten something, throws the pills on the road. So I'm appealing to the community members, let's try our level best. At least if we could find where we can dispose these things, even if at a workplace, at least you get a container or a dustbin whereby you can put these things. In offices, in the market, at least you find somewhere where you can put these things first. And then when the truck of the town council comes, then you can put them in those trucks, those wastes, or else those waste products, you can put them in the trucks, because the council is trying, but you as an individual, that is what matters most, because they always say security starts with you, hygiene starts with you. So all these things, it starts with us, then it goes to other people around.
Helena Kumu, another resident, expressed her dismay when she visited one of the hotels, but she was shocked to see running water from the sewage in the corridors. Akumu blames the Town Council Authority for not doing enough as far as waste materials is concerned.
Wish we let me Town Council mo wati karimin wari wal wor jumi kwa bas pang maleng endo bas pang ma jumi kwa sha ibin wangu bas pa kin ti ko susugi kadok kin corridor gibin wangu gondo mudar ni pongi pambas gidar ni pongi wano ti ku shwet no nenu gindisha sususha gigi marash iwa chopu kelwa tuore shalu town council maji kungo rajulu tela gitie muma ko konwa unenwa kinde unenwa nu di marash mi town council endi ti anga shop par pe wade ngo ima enu shalu anenu ni alembe endi rash ketangonde awash ni awe abu wesho ku shwet swin mane abeleno le marash ti shalu danu mamegu uwe kangonde ketu wan nyo di shop konwa ju ketu abedu kama lengi enu paru para.
Fred Pithua, a blocker at Taxi Park by the Town Council, is worried that the bad smell from corridors is putting their lives at risk of getting airborne diseases.
Wateko soso munya ya kaja de soko ma jorotela mwa ge kadure ke kakende re gineno soso gi kidema town utekore de iye anero ka woni ni kin kodro so enwango soso kondom gi shed gi upo kin kodo redan woti ko bakin village meni ki jege enwango nya tax park ka nje enwango soso utete soko kama community bi beri ide iye eni nyutu nya paida utie babero ko inano yu twin muade utenang ilengu paida irario utie kin beru ben kin dano utie tongtong tela manda iwa wan izomboka upe soko onyo tere soso pong kene town kidemutie kore.
In a mini survey carried out by our reporter, managers of the hotels and lodges refuted the claim, saying they have proper management of sea waste. Reginald Chakashon, health assistant by the Town Council, admits that hotel and lodge owners do not have proper disposal of sewage water. He noted that Town Council authorities have plans to find lasting solution to the challenges. Innocent Godfred Unega, chairperson Local Council 3 by the Town Council, advises hotel and lodge owners to always get advice from town engineer to have a soft pit for proper drainage system. According to survey conducted by an environmentalist, garbage and sewage management is a challenge to most administrative units within Greater Nebi. Alfred Jawok, West Nile TV, Nile Cast.
Welcome back and more in the stories. And moving away from West Nile and now taking it to Acholi sub-region. The Acholi parliamentary group is proposing that the government should provide mandatory boarding schools to all the children in the sub-region, believing that this will help deter the culture of cattle rustling as they will be removed from the kraal to schools for mindset change and exposed to a global job market. Acholi parliamentary group is currently consulting the electorate ahead of the presidential visit to the region earlier this month to find the best means of implementation of Executive Order Number 3 of 2023 he issued in May.
In preparation for the presidential visit in Acholi sub-region to find amicable ways of implementing the Executive Order Number 3 of 2023, leaders from the affected community by Karamoja cattle rustlers are calling upon government to effect the mandatory boarding schools for all the children in Karamoja regions.
And one of the strategies that the government has come up with, it is not yet implemented, but is already in place, is to make sure that all the children of Karamoja, all the school-going children must be in the boarding school. Reason being, in the assessment and the research being done, I am one of the person who witnessed over 100 children of the Karamojong loitering in the wilderness. They are being trained on how to use gun. They are being trained on how to raid. And this is the reason why the challenges of the Karamojong cattle rustler are not ending.
These leaders are also suggesting that government should also initiate a mega irrigation scheme to help generate grass in the semi-desert regions of Karamoja that will enable them to feed their animals even during dry spell.
About ensuring that they provide for them what they require to take care of the animals from within there. I think that's a good proposal. It's a good proposal. However, I want to also emphasize that it needs to be consulted on a bit wider, from a wider perspective.
As leaders traverse the region, seeking community views on how the Executive Order Number 3 of 2023 should be implemented, victims of cattle rustlings want government to compensate them.
Where we are standing, that house you see, I was talking, that house there you see, 2 people were killed from there. And then there's one who was killed under the sea here, near the barracks here, when he went to direct the soldiers where these people are passing. But later he was again shot, and then one was again killed from Lelakadera, where we are putting the soldier there. And they shot him with the wife, and they were going to kill both of them. But the wife was rescued.
It was on the 18th of September 2021 when Ottawa Charles, a resident of Lachek Ottawa Pida in Adilang sub-county, Agago district, who is also the father to Okiri Morris, was gunned down by the Karamoja warriors while helping UPDF who were pursuing them to rescue the animals they have taken from the villages.
My dad was killed by the Karamojong, but there was a promise. They promised to us that they are going to help us the issue of paying school fees, because our dad leave a lot of children. But up to now, there is no any help. I send my message to government or Mr. President that we are suffering because we have we have nothing. We cannot pay school fees because we are very many.
Charles Ottawa is one of the many who was killed by the Karamoja warriors during the raids, just like a 60-year-old grandmother who is currently looked after 15 grandchildren of her 2 sons who were killed by the warriors. The Acholi parliamentary group has spread out across the region, seeking opinion from their electorates on how best the executive order, which was issued by President Yoweri Museveni, can be implemented. Stephen Okello for West Nile Television, Nile Cast.
And with that, we come to the end of the Thursday edition of the NILE CAST News Bulletin this week. And today I've been Farish Majid, but